Well, a wonderful hymn and carol today. This is less well known. I accept it's less well known, but it's been well known for a long time. It has been well known probably for of the order of 1700 years. Sounds about right. The author was a Spaniard. So I have to include this, don't I, really? And the author probably was born in Saragossa or Tarragona or Calahorra. Not quite sure, because it was a long time ago, 348 AD. So we are going back 1700 years. It's a long, long time. And his name was Latin, because that was how you were named in those days, because we were part at that time of the Roman Empire. And the name is Marcus Aurelius Prudentius Clemens. Wow, another great name, eh? He was a lawyer initially, and a judge and provincial governor. They are quite important at the moment, given our lockdown issues. Eventually, he was a good and sound man, so the Emperor Theodosius I, never heard of him, summoned him to court in Rome, presumably, and he went there for a time, came back, resigned, gave up, 57 years old, decided that he would become pious and start writing some religious poetry. And he wrote loads and loads of religious songs and poetry. I say poetry. At that time, Latin hadn't come up with the idea that you could rhyme one word with another word with another word. So it wasn't so much poetry as prose, really, or at least verses without rhyme. So this was all written in Latin, and it, of course, needed translation, and the translator was John Neal, and he published this in 1862 in a particular hymn book. Of all of the hymns he wrote, this Marcus Aurelius Prudentius Clemens, of all of the ones he wrote, this is the most popular, at least according to the hymn books that there are around at the moment. It appears in lots and lots of hymn books, and it appears only with this tune, which is either called Corde Natus or Divinum Mysterum rather, and that is an ancient tune. Again, recorded, we have a script of that in 1582. Unusual hymn tune, and in the sense that it's one of those ones with a peculiar meter. Not quite sure what it's going to do. It's 8-7, 8-7, 8, 8-7. I mean, who thought of that one? It was originally written as plain song, so it would go like this. One word for each note. You know, of the Father's love begotten. One word for each note. Well, it's not quite, except it's one begotten. It doesn't quite work like that. Actually, many of the tunes that have been written have been adapted to a kind of dance-like triple meter, which goes like this. Which definitely adds a bit of life to it, doesn't it? And it goes with those with the fantastic words of the Father's love begotten, words which are not really a story so much as how the implications of the life and times and birth and death of Jesus have had on our world at that point. And he's only writing it 300 years after Jesus, the Jesus event, as it were, in the Gospels. Of the Father's love begotten, ere the worlds began to be, he is Alpha and Omega. He, the source and ending, he, of the things that are and have been and that future years shall see evermore and evermore. You know, it's like John's Gospel, really, in the sense that first chapter and the first 14, 18 verses, when it talks about the creator of all things was Jesus in the Father, creating all things. Of the Father's love begotten, ere the worlds began to be, he the Alpha and the Omega, which of course scriptural from Revelation. Just hold up the kind of the text. The text it goes on and on and on. We don't sing most of those verses, and I can understand why. I pick on one of them. Thee let old men, thee let young men, thee let boys in chorus. I ought to sing this. I hope you don't mind. Thee let old men, thee let young men, thee let boys in chorus sing. Matrons, virgins, little maidens, with glad voices answering. Let their guileless songs re-echo, and the heart its music bring, evermore and evermore. Absolutely. Every verse has got something to tell you somewhere along the line. That one was entirely about praise. Let everybody, whoever they are, however old they are, come and join in the praise of this wonderful event. And let their guileless songs re-echo. Goodness knows, you know, you haven't got much in the way of songs, but they're going to echo and echo and echo forever. I love these. Of course, he was as I said, a lawyer and a judge. Listen to this verse. Does this speak of him? Righteous judge of souls departed, righteous king of them that live, on the Father's throne exalted, none in might with thee may strive, who at last in vengeance coming, sinners from thy face shall drive, evermore and evermore. Big picture of the last times, as it were, and a judgment event that he includes there. This is he whom seers in old time chanted of with one accord, whom the voices of the prophets promised in their faithful word. Now he shines the long expected. Let creation praise its Lord. The lovely words. At his word, capital W, at his word, John's first chapter of John. The worlds were framed. He commanded, it was done. Heaven and earth and depths of oceans in their threefold order one. All that grows beneath the shining of the moon and burning sun. Good, isn't it? It's good. And the last verse, which pulls the whole lot together in the Trinity, of course. Christ to thee, with God the Father, and O Holy Ghost to thee, hymn and chant with high thanksgiving and unwearied praises be, honour, glory, and dominion, and eternal victory, evermore and evermore. Is that a crackingly good carol or not? Here it is.